Yes, I didn't mark it. I'm not
Oh,
finding a mark. There was a comment that it was cites lightning's leap from the invisible was from the illumined mind. Oh, maybe that's when we
Yeah.
stopped
When you start.
okay.
the week
Yeah,
before
exactly.
and then started here.
Yeah, so I remembered infinity, so it was
Ah,
then more
okay.
about half or something.
Okay, so this was where was the endless consciousness proof, and it went all the way to was lodged now in a mute omnipotent peace. And
Yes,
and
that's
that's
where
where
we're
we
beginning.
start now.
That's where we start. Yeah. Oscar,
He has to.
he should come.
He knows Narad's
Yeah, he
infinity.
knows. Yeah. But I miss Ananda because she can't come because of the
Yeah,
children.
I called her many times, but I don't know
And
why
the
she
two children, they need to be
once
fed
in
and
a week.
put to bed. So we started 2 days ago, Ranganathan and I, and we did the Life Divine. And today we did the synthesis of yoga. Tomorrow we do Savitri. And Saturday we do essays on the Gita. All online. And I have listed the ID numbers that will be put on our website and on my Facebook page and on wherever else he wants to put it. So the message will get out. But it's interesting because, I do Zoom every Sunday with Vladimir in South Carolina, and I do Zoom with Shadalu. Well, he does it mostly. I'm just part of the picture.
The facilitator.
Huh?
The facilitator.
Uh, Not very much, but we do it Saturday night, 7:30 our time, and it's called Evenings with Shraddhalu, which I started some years ago, and then, well, I'll tell you this. It's okay. Um, I was promised a 5-year visa for the ashram by Manoj Das Gupta, the managing trustee, provided that I took everything of Sradalu off my website.
Oh, take it off.
So he and I talked, and he said, "Look, Narad, I have it. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we have it now. Good. So he sent me to this fellow who does all his hatchet work, and Matri. His name is Matri. And Matri told me, well, you get a 1-year visa in Aurobindo, and when that visa is expiring, you come to me and automatically I'll get you a 5-year visa. So I did it. And then I went to him and he said, oh, but you're already an Aurovillian. I can't do anything for you. I can't help you. So now, uh, Nilisha, whom you've met Nilisha, you know her well. She's going to become an ashramite on the 1st of January. And after that, everything of Swadalo goes back on my website.
You've
But
done
I
something
don't
right.
understand why can't you have the Oroville one?
I have it now.
Oh,
I have a 5-year Oroville visa.
oh,
I'm in pretty good shape.
yeah, you're very good.
And I got a house,
Yeah.
which is another good thing. Come in. Hi.
I'm sorry to be late.
Yes, you're not late. I spent an hour with Srinivas Modi and his wife. You don't want to hear about it. Oh, gosh.
You tell me sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Things are
it's
getting worse.
yeah, they are. They are. And this is time for the divine to step in.
That's right. Things will happen.
Things will happen. We have to have this faith.
Absolutely. But the faith
And
will do it.
and I never look at the negative. I always look at far ahead to see that the light will conquer the darkness always.
That we know.
Okay, people, we'll begin. Brief concentration, just a few moments of concentration. So, despite our many meetings here, we're still in Book 1, Canto 3, because we go very slowly. And I feel, and I guess those of you who are with me feel the same, that we want to go as deeply as possible with the limited understanding that we have. And of course, it's a very limited understanding. The reason being that when we're still in the ignorance, which is body, life, and mind, we have not yet risen into the spiritual states of consciousness. And those spiritual states, which I have mentioned before, begin with the higher mind, which gives us a glimpse of the truth, but only a glimpse. And then the illumined mind seems to shed a light on everything. And the intuitive mind doesn't only shed a light, but everything is glowing in that light. And then, of course, there's the overmind. And the overmind is very close to the supermind. It's not there yet. There are still negativities. There are still some dualities left, but very few. So Ashwapati is on this quest of knowledge and oneness with the Supreme Divine, the Purushottama. And he's been there. We've been reading that for a long time. So we begin now with his experiences, which get deeper and deeper and higher and higher. The strength that only in action feels its truth was lodged now in a mute, omnipotent peace. This strength that we have is only possible in action. It's true for us, no doubt. It is true that we can accomplish many things in action, but we only feel the truth of that strength when we are acting. But not Ashwapati. He is now lodged in this mute, omnipotent, all-powerful peace. Ceased in a truth which lives in its own light. So that's already the intuitive mind coming into the overmind. Does everybody have a punctuation mark after the word peace?
Yeah.
There's a period.
Because that's a mistake. How can it be there? It could be a comma.
Full stop after light.
Yeah, and a full stop after light, yes, but peace has a full stop also. And that doesn't make any sense. That's probably typographical.
Well, can't the strength be lodged in that piece permanently, and then we start with the leisure?
Yes, but where is the subject beginning with ceased? What ceased? The strength ceased in a truth which lives in its own light.
We don't have that.
Ceased
So-
is not in
There's like a lot
this
of lines
edition.
between them.
Oh, see, we have different editions, and that's the problem that keeps coming up, huh? So-
I think it's the lexicon you're using.
Huh?
Are you using the Savitri PDF or lexicon?
Lexicon.
I think in the lexicon we might have not put it together properly.
Maybe.
Okay.
This is supposed to be the corrected edition. This one, I don't know if
Okay.
that's true. You see how it
So we
reads?
have peace.
Full stop.
Leaving
Full
the
stop.
meaning of the words.
Was lodged in a mute, omnipotent peace. A leisure. You have a leisure next,
Yes.
and I don't have it. So it's
The next
Aishwarya is probably correct. So I'll have to read with you for a while. Or we can go to the PDF.
I'm okay.
Could you help me with that? We'll do that. I don't know
How
how
many
this
pages?
happened, but
How many pages are missing?
we're on 33.
32.
So we have to go to 34. 30,
No, you want the PDF.
yeah, PDF, right. Yeah, I think that's what has happened.
Mm.
A PDF of Savitri? Wow.
Oh, it's all of the books of Sri Aurobindo and Mother are now available free for downloading on our website. And
You can go back here. If you want to go back to the lexicon, just
no,
do.
this is fine. Yeah, see, this is a big mistake here. Sorry, but I don't see the other things here. I don't see omnipotent. I have the grooves that turn their dumb ellipse in space, plowed by the seeking of the world's desire. We did all that last week.
It's
Yeah,
four
omnipotent
lines
is
before.
this. Yeah.
4 lines before.
4 lines before, so that's 32, and this is 3.
Yeah, we're on 32.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay, so 32. Now I got it. Very good. And we don't have two full stops. Good. The strength that only in action feels its truth was lodged now in a mute, omnipotent peace, a leisure in the labor of the worlds, a pause in the joy and anguish of the search, restored the stress of nature to God's calm. Well, He is in that world of omnipotent peace. And there's a leisure there in the labor of the worlds because there's no creation in that space. In the transcendent, all is total peace. It's the realm of the Purushottama, immutable, perfect, but absolutely still. No movement at all. So what we're seeing is that Ashwapati is there now. He is not active, and therefore he says, a pause in the joy and anguish of the search. Restored the stress of nature to God's calm. That's an important line because nature is always in stress. She's creating and at the same moment destroying. But she's always destroying to create something better. And that's nature's work. But there's a lot of stress. So he is away from that. And this next line, a vast unanimity ended life's debate. So this oneness, you see, life has a debate, always a debate, because we live in a world of duality. We see good, we see bad. We like this taste, we don't like that taste. All of these opposites are unified in this line. A vast unanimity ended life's debate. Now, the war of thoughts that fathers the universe, the clash of forces struggling to prevail in the tremendous shock that lights a star, as in the building of a grain of dust, the grooves that turn their dumb ellipse in space, plowed by the seeking of the world's desire, the long regurgitations of time's flood, the torment edging the dire force of lust that wakes kinetic in earth's dullard slime and carves a personality out of mud, the sorrow by which nature's hunger is fed, the estrus which creates with fire of pain, the fate that punishes virtue with defeat, the tragedy that destroys long happiness, the weeping of love, the quarrel of the gods, ceased in a truth which lives in its own light. Well, Sri Aurobindo has written to Amal Kiran that, yes, I do have longer sentences, but they're usually only 6 lines. and look at what we've just been through. So let's take it slowly. This war of thoughts that fathers the universe. Fathers means procreates, builds the universe. But it's a war of thoughts, because thoughts are never truth. They cannot be truth. Mother says the truth is indivisible and not translatable, but must be lived. So, we continue on with this sentence, long sentence, because Sri Aurobindo wants us to understand this whole creation and how it's coming. So we're going to see about this clash of forces that are struggling to prevail in the tremendous shock that lights a star, as in the building of a grain of dust. And we here remember William Blake. Anyone?
Remember what?
William Blake's poem about everything's in the grain of dust.
Oh,
Yeah. Hold heaven in the hand. No, hold an eternity. Our,
In a grain of sand.
Yeah,
huh?
In a grain of sand.
In a grain of sand, yes. And so we see that the divine is in everything. He's in the grain of sand. And when I asked Ranganathan, well, what about this thing when Mother says that our consciousness could slow the descent of the supramental? And he said, yes, it's possible. He says the first thing has to be us rising into the higher planes of existence, and then the individuals form a collective, and that is what will help bring down the supermind. But Mother also adds something else, because you have to remember, she worked for 23 years after Sri Aurobindo left his body. And Mother says that there will be a sorom. In French, it's a little difficult to translate, but it's sort of a progression of human beings who are closer and closer to the supermind. And so the body is changing. Sri Aurobindo's nails changed. His hair changed. His body changed. He was very dark at first. Very, very dark. And he was almost white at the end. And Purani asked him, what has happened to you? And Sri Aurobindo looked at Purani's beard and simply said, and what has happened to you? That was his answer. So these grooves that turn their dumb ellipse in space, well, these cycles, plowed by the seeking of the world's desire, the long regurgitations of time's flood. Yes, time's flood is always regurgitating, always bringing up the past. The torment edging the dire force of lust, a very powerful line. This torment that edges this very severe force of lust, that wakes kinetic in earth's dullard slime. Look at the lines here. We have dullard, slime, we have mud next, we have hunger, we have pain, we have defeat. That wakes kinetic in earth's dullard slime and carves a personality out of mud. Well, so many poets have used the word clay figures to represent us. A.E. especially, and Yeats. So, the sorrow by which nature's hunger is fed. That's a powerful line. The sorrow by which nature's hunger is fed. Well, nature's hunger is fed because we want something higher. We aspire for something better, something greater. And nature knows this, and she's working at it. Only she told Mother that, why should I join you when in 1,000,000 years I can create the Superman? And Mother said, but if you join me, you will become so much more beautiful, so much more powerful. And nature joined Mother at that point. So we know that nature now is on our side, for sure. She always has been, but she takes her time. Look how many eons have gone by since the first fish, since the first amphibian, since the first animal. So many. And the estrus, which creates with fire of pain. Estrus is sort of, I guess I would liken it more to the birth of a child, this estrus that creates with fire of pain. You rarely hear a woman have an easy birth. It's always a challenge, huh? So, next, the fate that punishes virtue with defeat. Oh, why is that? That fate is the past life that all of us have had. Many, many past lives. I've told you before that the Vedas say we are here now because we have already lived 1,00,000 of lives. A lot still to do. The tragedy that destroys long happiness, we don't need to say more than that. The weeping of love, the quarrel of the gods, ceased in a truth which lives in its own light. Why do the gods quarrel? Well, what gods are we talking about? When the first 4 emanations came down from the Divine Mother and they saw their power, they turned against her. Love became hate. Good became evil. And so the gods are always quarreling. In fact, we saw earlier in Book 1, Canto 2, where Savitri had to face them, and each one wanted a part of Savitri. We're going to see a lot of that in the future. So now we're back to Ashwapati in this great sentence. His soul stood free, a witness and a king. And that's a very important line because he has now the witness consciousness. He can look at everything and see exactly what it is. And yet he's also a king. Absorbed no more in the moment-ridden flux, where mind incessantly drifts as on a raft, hurried from phenomenon to phenomenon, he abode at rest in indivisible time. Time for us is not indivisible. Time for us is relative. We have morning, we have noon, we have night, we have yesterday, last year, we have ages ago. Time for us is fixed, but he lives in indivisible time. He is above the timescape, and therefore he abode at rest. Now we're going to hear more this beautiful passage. As if a story long written but acted now, in his present he held his future and his past. Well, that's Trikaladishti. Definitely the triple aspect of seeing one's past, one's present, and one's future. Felt in the seconds the uncounted years. He felt in the seconds. That's the scope. And even saw the hours like dots upon a page. The hours like dots upon a page. Extraordinary. An aspect of the unknown reality, altered the meaning of the cosmic scene. How did it alter it? This huge material universe became a small result of a stupendous force. Now that we have the Webb telescope finding all these galaxies, and we see Earth is so small in relation to them, even in relation to the planets that we know, but far more since this breakthrough of the Webb telescope. Now, oh, what did I do? Okay. Always, no, two, where are we? I'm on 35. I don't want to be on 35. 34? 33. Okay, yeah, here we are. Okay. This huge material universe became a small result of a stupendous force, overtaking the moment. The eternal ray illumined that which never yet was made. Now we have to pay very close attention here because ray is capitalized and that is capitalized. And when Sri Aurobindo capitalizes, there's a reason behind it. And that reason is to give us the essential nature of that word, that experience. The eternal ray, it's the sun. It's the sun of creation. And illumined that which never yet was made. Well, that's the transcendent. We go from the personal to the cosmic to the transcendent. And that's what's being illumined now. Beyond that, of course, there's still so much more. There's Sat Chit Ananda after that. And after that, we don't know. Mother says it doesn't end. Okay, so, time is up. Well, that's a good place we can stop. Now we have a couple of people who would like to read. Would you like to read the whole thing from where we started?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be wonderful.
To do that, you'll need to be online.
The strength that only in action feels its truth was lodged now in a mute, omnipotent peace. A leisure in the labor of the worlds, a pause in the joy and anguish of the search, restored the stress of nature to God's calm. A vast unanimity ended life's debate. The war of thoughts that fathers the universe, the clash of forces struggling to prevail in the tremendous shock that lights a star, as in the building of a grain of dust. The grooves that turn their dumbed ellipse in space, loud by the seeking of the world's desire. The long regurgitations of time's flood, the torment edging the dire force of lust. The wakes that wakes kinetic in earth's dullard slime and carves a personality out of mud. The sorrow by which nature's hunger is fed, the estrus which creates with fire of pain, the fate that punishes virtue with defeat, the tragedy that destroys long happiness, the weeping of love, the quarrel of the gods, ceased in a truth which lives in its own light. His soul stood free, a witness and a king, absorbed no more in the moment-driven flux, where mind incessantly drifts as on a raft. Hurried from phenomenon to phenomenon, he abode at rest in indivisible time. As if a story long written but acted now, in his present he held his future and his past, felt in the seconds the uncounted years, and saw the hours like dots upon a page. An aspect of the unknown reality altered the meaning of the cosmic scene. The huge material universe became a small result of a stupendous force. Overtaking the moment, the eternal ray illumined that which never yet was made.
Thank you. We can concentrate for a few moments and then sing our Om to conclude the evening. Thank you all. Namaste. Namaste. You know, we could have spent an hour on those 16 lines. And I'd like to do that one day, but at least we got a taste of it. The words that Sri Aurobindo uses are very